Okay, we're going to be doing a little color analysis here on Jennifer. And this is the new Be Warm, Be Cool tool. And it has warm shades on one side and cool on the other. So here's what you do. You just take and hold the colors underneath the face so that you can watch for changes in the skin tone. So you can see a lot of pink come out in Jennifer's skin with these colors. And let's flip it over. She looks good in the cool. And look and see what happens with the warm. Do you see some, you see sallowness, more of a yellow tone? Because if you have cool skin, which most of the population does have cool skin, then that means you have blue undertones. And so you will actually turn yellow with warm colors, and that's not an attractive look. You're gonna see lines like you see shadowing right here, dark circles under the eyes. Look at the lip color as well. That's a good thing to look at, is lip color. So overall, just look at the client's face. I know the lighting's not super good in here, but I hope that this turns out well, because you see how much brighter and even her skin tone looks here, color to her lips. So pure white, not the warm beige, would be better on a cool person. And then you're going to have the color chart here that'll help your clients to guide them in what looks best on them in the clothing. So now let's go ahead and do Renee, because Renee has darker complexion. And let's see, yeah, take your glasses off, please, and that way we can focus. Sometimes Renee's complexion is a little darker, so you will need to look at the color of the lips and overall skin tone being blotchier and uneven, and that is warm, and that is what I saw there. A little more unevenness to the skin tone and pale lips. There we have more color coming out in her lips, and her skin tone overall is not as uneven. And we're going to be doing makeup on Renee in just a few minutes, so we'll get some tricks on making her complexion flawless, but you can see the importance it plays to wear the right undertone colors. So again, that's cool compared to warm. You see the difference? All right, thanks, Renee.
All right, we're going to talk about how we created Flawless Foundation on Renee. What we did is we applied the Secret Agent Natural Foundation Primer on her face, all over her face, and a little bit on her eyelids as well. You want to seal in all the areas that are going to receive the makeup. So this is great for oil control and for creating that perfect canvas for a foundation. Next, what we did is we applied her color, which is Y5 Secret Agent Undercover Foundation. And what I did was I started in the middle of the face. I kind of created a stripe right down the middle of the face and fanned it outward to create that look, so that most of the foundation was where you see it. And then it creates a little lighter look as you hit the edge of her faces and her cheekbones. And remember to take the foundation under the chin line as well, so you don't have any areas of demarcation. You don't want to look like you're wearing a mask. And Secret Agent Undercover Foundation is a light, great coverage foundation that lasts all day. Then what we did is we took our Extra Help Concealer and we worked it in under the eye area to cover any dark circles. We started in the corner of her eye and worked it outward, and then blended it in with a sponge on both sides of her eye. And then we also used it to cover a few little imperfections on her face. So sometimes it's better to foundation first and then conceal second. That way when you're applying the foundation, you're not wiping off all the work you did to conceal. Then what we did is we applied the Shadow Control Cream. And we applied the taupe Shadow Control Cream on her eyes. I used just a little eyeshadow brush to do that, just so I could have a little bit more control on how much I put on her eyes and to create an even coat. And the great thing about the Shadow Control Cream is that it can also be worn by itself. It has a little bit of a shimmer on it, so as you build it up a little bit more, it looks like you have a little bit of shadow on. But the Shadow Control Cream is going to keep your eyeshadow from creasing, and it's going to create that long wearing coverage all day long. And then what we did, our last primer, was the lip balm. So this is our Lip Appeal Lip Balm. It's great. You put that all over her lips. We want to make sure her lips are thoroughly moisturized and ready for when we do lip liner and lipstick. So don't forget to prime your lips. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of seal in her foundation with the wet dry. And the wet dry is great. We know it's used 3 ways. You can use it as a foundation all on its own, either wet or wetting the sponge, wet by wetting the sponge, or dry by using a good powder brush. But you can also use it to set liquid foundation, which is what I'm going to do right now. The big powder brush. Again, I like to start in the middle and build out. So just lightly down the middle and fan it out. Most of us have that T-zone, so it's really great to hit those areas. And then on under the chin line. And then it perfectly sets the liquid foundation to give her long wearing wear all day. And then if you want to from here, the last step I love to do for women in order to set their foundation is to use our hydrating mist. It's perfect for setting everything you've done before you get to eyeshadow and lipstick. So you just want to do a quick spritz down and across. And then that'll give it just enough to set it. And then as that dries, it'll help everything meld together and stay all day long. And then you can also use this to refresh your makeup at the end of the day. Okay, we've got Renee all foundation and primed, and now we're going to finish her face with color. So we're going to start with her eyes, and we're using our new Be Beauty Control colors that we just received at Celebration, our individual shadows, our new blush, our new lipstick, liner, and then we have some of our classic products as well. So we're going to start with the lid of her eye, and the color we're going to start with on the lid of her eye is this beautiful navy color. And I'm going to show you 2 different ways to put this on. So we're just going to dab a little bit in here, shake off a little bit, and then just on the lid of her eye, lightly place the color on the lid up to the crease.
So you're doing contouring first?
Yes. And what I'd like to do, I'm kind of creating a smoky look with her here. So that's why we're starting with the darker shade. And because we're applying it dry, it's a little bit lighter. Now if you want more of an impact with it, just spray your brush with a little bit of hydrating mist to wet it. Then tap it into the thing, and then you're going to see that color become a little bit more vibrant. And that'll give that color staying power on the lid. So it's a great way to use it on the lid just to heighten the color a little bit. Okay, so that's on one eye, and then we're going to go ahead and do the other one. And notice I'm just patting it on. So I'm just kind of patting it into the lid, not using a sweeping motion. This will help a little bit too prevent some drop off if you're using it dry. But using it wet also prevents the drop off. And that's just when the powder flecks and it gets a little bit in places where you don't want it to go. And I can show you how to clean that up in the event that that happens. Okay, so we have the lids done. And if it happens to go anywhere you don't want it to go, Renee, open your eye. So you have a little bit right here. I like to use the foundation brush to clean it up, because what that does is it takes off the color without stripping off the foundation. So you can just clean it up so that the corners don't extend too much and that it's right where you want it to go. Okay. Now since we've used a really dark color on the lid, I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a neutral color in the crease, and this is the Espresso. Again, you're going to put it on. This one we're going to use dry, and we're just going to go a little bit in the crease just to kind of heighten the blue without making it look too much. And like I said, if you get it anywhere you don't want it, that's where you use your foundation brush to clean it up. So we'll go back and do that. And then you can also use it to blend a little bit so you don't have any strong lines. And then for her brow area, to kind of highlight the brow, we're using the linen. And just a little bit right on the brow bone.
And lighter colors bring forward, darker create depth.
Mm-hmm.
So you're highlighting right under the brow bone.
And if you also want to lighten it up a little bit, kind of in the corner of her eye, you can dab that highlight color right in the corner. And that will open up her eye as well. Okay. And then another thing I want to do is I want to go back with that blue a little bit and take a little flat brush and on the other part of her eye kind of line it a little bit. So look up for me, Renee. And we're just going to tap that right along the bottom lash line. Great way to line the eye if you're not good with the eye pencil. And when you guys get your brush sets, you'll love how you'll be able to create all these looks. And then you can also take it, close your eye for me, and along the upper lash area, kind of create a little bit of a darker line on the lash area. This is what I tell my clients to do when they don't want to use an eye pencil to drag along. Just tap that powder right along the lash area. There you go. Right there. All right. All right, and then we're going to move on to her cheeks. And we have our new color blush. It's Plum. Beautiful color. So I'm going to swirl the blush brush in there. No need to smile. And just lightly tap it onto her face. And her cheekbone is right here. So you want to make sure that you hit right there on her cheekbone and pull it upward. And start light to build. There's nothing worse than too much blush, although you can fix it with powder. That's pretty. Okay. All right, so we're setting up the face, and Renee is going to apply. I want her to show you how easy it is to apply our new Beauty Control mascara. This is our Dramatic Lash Mascara. It actually has fibers in it, it curls, it lengthens, and it volumizes all in one step. Okay, so Renee, go ahead and do that. Let me give you a mirror. This is very easy to use. what you want to do is you want to make sure that you wipe off any excess off the tip of the mascara. And you can start from the bottom. Go ahead and start from the bottom of your lash line and pull up. I suggest long strokes because it is a volumizing mascara. And make sure you hit the ends. And then you can also do a back and forth action, and that will also help to to separate the lashes as well. And I'm going to have Shelly show you just with one coat on the one eye. You can see a difference in how it has lengthened and curled and volumized her eyes. Okay, and then go ahead and do the other side. And always start on your top lashes first. That's where you want to dispense most of the product. And then after you get it on your top lashes, you'll have just enough to put on those bottom lashes.
And it's also important to coat the base. A lot of people will hit the tips and miss the base. So a good trick is to place that brush as close as you can and just lift it up into the lash and wiggle it back and forth so that you coat the base before you do the long lengthening strokes. Right, Michelle?
Yep.
Because, you know, if you miss that base, if you have short lashes, that really makes them look
Yep.
longer.
And then if you look up, once she's already used it on the top, and there's just enough product, not too much left, to hit the bottom. And she has very sparse lashes on the bottom. Now we're going to go back and apply another coat, but we're going to let this completely dry first. Okay. And if you feel like you've ever put too much or you get a clump on the top, just take a disposable brush, a disposable mascara brush, and just run it through there while it's still wet. And that'll separate and remove any clumps before you apply your next coat.
I like to use those on my eyebrows as well.
Yeah. All right. And speaking of eyebrows, that's what we're going to do next. So I've got a disposable wand, and you can also use your brow brush.
You're prepping.
I'm prepping, as Gary said in the video. So you're just combing the hairs on the brows to make sure they're laying down. And then you can take the end of your brow brush. Well, that's if you use powder. I've actually got a pencil because we're going to go to pencils now.
Yay!
And what you're going to do is you're just going to lightly fill in small brush strokes. You want it to look like natural hair. So ladies, we're not drawing it on in straight lines. We're not using colors like blue or turquoise or red. We want it to look like natural hair, so choose a pencil that's closest to your natural color. And fill in those brows. And the same with the other side. Follow as much as you can the natural curve of your brow shape. Because again, we're making it look natural.
Why don't you show the trick about how to start and end a brow as well with the pencil?
Okay.
For those who may not know that are watching this video, this is a great trick.
What you're going to do is where the nose is, right there, straight up, that's where you'll know to start your brow. Okay? And then from the middle of the nose over, you'll see where the arch is. Okay? And then from about right here where the corner of the eye is, that's where you see where it ends. So that's always a good way to know how far to come down, where your arch is, and where to start.
It's good to know because some people don't have a brow or the outer half of the brow, so it's a good rule to know where to extend the brow color to, because it so frames the eye and makes the eye makeup look so much better.
And the more you do it, the more you'll be able to see it without even doing that trick. But until you get good, you want to make sure that and you can do it very quickly. Okay. And then when you're done filling in, that's where you can take your mascara wand again, and just lightly brush it, because that'll help blend in your strokes. And make sure that again, the hairs are laying down. Okay. Filled in brows kind of complete the face. All right, so we already primed her lips, and I'm going to have her do one more coat of mascara on the end, but I want to get her lips going. So we've chosen the new Beauty Control Perfecting Lip Pencil in Natural, and we're just going to line her lips, and again start from the outer corner into the middle. Just right along the natural line of her lips. And once you get it lined, you want to fill it in. That's going to help the color stay on her lips. And from here, if you just want to put on lip gloss, you can. We're going to use a lipstick or a clear lip gloss. She's got enough color on her lips. This is a long-lasting lip liner. Goes on very easy. And we've got our new lip color. This is Raisin. It's awesome. Our chic new lip with the magnetic cap. Love it. Very creamy. This is a good tip if you don't want to apply it right from the lipstick, because you know you want to make sure you keep your products as hygienic as possible whenever you can. And I like doing this better than using one of the lip applicators. And then a lip brush, which will come in your makeup kit. That way you have plenty of product to use without going right back to your lipstick. Okay, matte together. Pretty. And then you can do the same thing with the lip gloss. We're using one of our lighted lip glosses today. This is high definition, just to add a little shine to her lips. Scrape off a little bit. And with lip gloss, you just don't need a whole lot. You don't have to put on your whole lips. So we're going to put it right in the center, on the top and the bottom. Have her mat that together. Lips are done. And then we're going to do one more coat of her mascara. So this is what we're going to do, just lightly. And you could look down a little bit, Renee. Good. We're going to make sure we get those tips.
Second coat just does magic with this mascara. You're going to get longer lashes now, Renee. Yay.
It's really curled your lashes up too.
It curls, it volumizes, it
Mhm.
lengthens.
It
What
lengthens.
else?
That's it. Three main
Did I
things.
get 'em all?
Yep.
Yay.
All right. And it just
Beautiful.
popped her eyes out. All right. And there we have a finished Renee.
Ta-da!